I want to call the meeting to order. First thing on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I will.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. And unfortunately, that means that we're dismissing to executive session, and we're going to have to ask all of you in the audience to journey out into our hallway. I don't anticipate that this is going to last very long, probably 10, 15 minutes most.
I can happily do so, but first I have one question. What topics are being discussed that the public cannot be trusted to hear?
This has to do with public employment.
Public employment. Can you please elaborate a little bit?
Yes, it's the employment of one of our staff members.
Understand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're dismissing to executive session based on ORS 192.6.660 subsection 2 subsection A to consider the employment of a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent.
We'll have to wait for David to return. He puts the strip out. And he'll mute us here.
One moment. You can leave Kim in. And
I don't think that's Dr. Wildowski. Usually Rebecca joins as well.
It's not, but I'll have to move Kim to a.
Rebecca.
Was there another link that I was supposed to go to for this part?
No, you just
No.
stay right there, Kim. We're moving.
Okay. Okay. Hey, can people online hear me?
Here you can.
Okay, here's my question. I want to know if anyone else is having trouble hearing the board members in the back of the room, or if it's just my speakers and computer. It's hard to hear. So when we go back on, if you just kind of, I don't know, there's no.
I'm
chat
also
button.
having problems hearing too.
Okay, thank you. I'm like, maybe I just need hearing aids, but I was like, if this is like this every time,
Yes.
okay,
I'm having trouble too.
okay. Yay. I'm sorry it wasn't just me. I told David, he's like, I haven't got this, anybody saying this before. So I was like, well, I'm glad to know it's not just me.
I thought it was
Okay, we're
good.
back from the non-public session. Next is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll motion to consent for the consent agenda.
Thanks, Kim. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mady. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. Okay, we are on to policy. Oh, no.
Nope.
Sorry. Okay, out of state travel.
Where would you like me to stand?
Why don't you just stand behind? That's it. And talk loud because they can't hear.
I see. Hello, I'm Dario Coffee Playboy with the Marshfield High School's Black Student Union. I'd first like to thank you for having me here. It means a lot. Secondly, we're asking for permission to go outside of Oregon to go to the Washington, D.C. Smithsonian National Black History Museum, which it'll last about 4 days. And we're here to go because not only learning about Black history, it shows us what happened in the past. How does it affect us in the present times, and how can it impact our future? And so, she's our advisor for Black Student Union, Ms. Hardy, and I'm the chair for our union. So, would anybody on the board like me to elaborate on any questions or?
Yeah, how many kids would be going?
So from our school, we have 11 students going. We have most of our leadership going. And then we have 2 students from Brookings and then 4 chaperones.
And have you fundraised for this or?
Oh, no. So this is sponsored by the South Coast Health Equity Coalition, which, I mean, it talks about like self-advocacy, diversity, and how to have hard conversations and just not advocating for yourself, but people around you. And it focuses on equity, diversity, inclusion, and having a brave space where you can feel safe.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Sounds very exciting. When
Would you go? Yeah.
Oh, this is the 21st through the 24th, which is right when spring break starts, right when spring break starts. I'm very excited as well.
Are you going?
Yes. I've never been to Washington, D.C., but this is definitely first.
Oh, it's so exciting. Kim, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just said it's a couple of weeks, and that is very exciting. I think that you'll learn a ton and get to experience so much there, and good luck and have fun and be safe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to add is we're not only visiting the Smithsonian History Museum, we're also visiting 2 museums to be exact, the Natural History Museum and the Black History Museum. And then the second to last day, we're going to be visiting the National Mall, which is like the monument and the White House. It's appalling. And I'm very excited, as well as the other people going.
It's a really amazing place. And the nicest part about it is pretty much everything's free.
Exactly.
When you're there, they've made everything free, all the museums and, so you can see history for nothing and learn about your past.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have to approve the out-of-state travel request. Do I have a motion?
I'd make a motion that we approve the out-of-state travel request for the
MHS Black Student Union and their trip in March.
Second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Kevin?
Aye.
Maybe?
I,
Diane?
Aye.
Kim?
I,
And chair votes aye. So we look forward to hearing when you get back about your trip, please.
I was there last year. If you have any need restaurant advice, just shoot me an email and I'll send some things your way.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Warren, this is your part of the meeting.
Yay. I'll be going over 5 topics. If I speak too fast or if I'm going on a tangent, just cut me off if you have any questions or any concerns. First, we would like to inform you of our new play, Alice, which has recently casted roles and will likely debut in mid-April. We also have our charity pageant fundraiser on February 7th. Next, basketball went to La Grande, Oregon, and played in Class 4A state playoffs on Friday, March 6th at 5 p.m. Over the last week, on I believe Thursday, juniors and avid students were given a college experience taking place at the school. Finally, we have upcoming spring sports along with the ASVAB to be expected soon. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Warren.
Okay, it's time for public input. Did we have anybody sign up today? Did anyone in the audience sign up to speak publicly today? No? Okay.
Ma'am?
Perfect. We'll move on to Mr. Crook and CBEA business.
How's it going?
Get that up for you in just one moment.
Good deal. Right. So we got 2 staff members to highlight today. We'll go ahead. First one, Mr. Aker. So he's our choir teacher at Marshfield. He's been there for 4 years. Now this is another one that's kind of part of that survey that they do at Marshfield for the students. And then they basically, in the survey, they kind of talk about what they like about this teacher. And so what the students have to say about Mr. Aker is he is caring, welcoming, and highly effective teacher who makes choir and school in general a more positive place. They praise his ability to create a safe, inclusive classroom where every student feels accepted, supported, and encouraged to be their best. Mr. Aker is noted for balancing high expectations with humor and kindness, keeping students on task while making learning fun and approachable. His passion for music, strong communication, and genuine belief in his students has a lasting impact, motivating them to grow both musically and personally, and makes many students love choir because of it. What he loves about working at MHS is, he said, I get to make music with students every single day. She does a great job. And then our next one, good old destinations, Milner Crest. So this is Nurse Molly. She works at Milner Crest Alternative Learning Center. And Nurse Molly attends to preschoolers with severe diabetes while also helping with many little injuries and has been vital during these germy times. Milner Crest is so grateful to have her kindness and expertise on site, which I believe this is the first year they've had a nurse on site, and it's been great. I'm hearing great things from them, and she's having a great time with the kids. Any questions?
thank you. I've also heard wonderful things about Nurse Molly. Yay.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Crook.
Okay, Maureen.
Hello. I will just go down the list. Damon, are you gonna pull them all up one at a time? Okay, I'll want those up. So first is the checklisting for February. There were no significant or abnormal expenditures during the month. It is the beginning of a semester, so there's typically some larger supply purchases to start off a semester, but there was nothing out of the unexpected. Does anyone have any questions on the provided checklist?
The ones for the tattooing, can you explain
Yeah.
that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a MHS scholarship committee, tuition to a tattoo school from the Bridge Scholarship.
Paying them.
From 2K. Mhm.
Just triple checking.
It's a valid.
I saw it
valid
too,
question.
Captain Jack's.
I know, I
Tattoo
saw that
school.
one
I was
too.
like, "Ah."
It's an approved, MHS scholarship committee. Tuition. Any others?
You're asking for Dr. Legowski, who would have caught that for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was the one that I was like, let me pull that. And so I
Yeah.
pulled it this morning when I want to make sure I know what that is. because I
Someone's
obviously-
gonna ask.
It would have been a really big tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next we have, sorry, my agenda doesn't work great on my computer, so I have to go back. Next I have February financials. So I, again, apologize for getting them to you guys today. With the night being the board meeting, it's really hard to get the bank statements back, get it fully reconciled, and then get it into our system to do any projections. The general fund is looking great. We have officially solidified our ending fund balances from last year, so our beginning fund balances for this year. Note that we are projecting to end the year with the state school fund formula, the bolded line, at $595,000 above what was budgeted. That is due to the state school fund estimate that changes so significantly during the year. So essentially, we have the same pizza, the same amount of revenue, but based on other districts, all 197 who are enrolled in the state school fund, depending on their enrollment and what their actuals were, that then gets redivided and spread out all during the year. So I actually got another on Friday. So we are expecting an additional $100,000 that is not in here. But you'll continue to see that increase because we estimate at a reasonable amount when we do the budget, and then it just keeps increasing typically. Other than that, you'll see that intermediate sources are projected to be $388,000 below what was budgeted. That was because we had anticipated that we would have some flex dollars with the ESD because once we stopped using them for the Adaptive Life Skills program, we weren't sure to be able to use all of them and emerging $2, so we had put it in the budget, assuming if we needed to, we could tap into that. We don't need to, we haven't needed to. So we're not receiving that revenue as anticipated. Other than that, there's no significant expenditures. Everything's right on track. I'm reviewing appropriations monthly. If I see that we are going to go over an appropriation, I'll bring it to you guys in the appropriation transfer. But at this time, it is not looking necessary in the general fund. In the special revenue fund, all is looking great. We have just submitted our February grant claims. So we are monthly tracking, now that I present that special revenue report to you guys, we're tracking the grants monthly as well as quarterly. So we're well within our allocations for all of those and getting them spent down for the end of the biennium. Debt service fund, we don't have another debt service payment until May, which will be our final PERS bond UAL payment. We're really excited about that. And then lastly is the capital projects fund. Things are looking great. As far as I know, we're on track for all of our capital projects that are in place. The Milner Crest Learning Center, Education Center. They got the gym painted over Christmas break. They had some flooring and lighting replaced. We're doing that also at Sunset. I don't know if you've been there lately, but we're doing the hall lights with some capital projects funds, and we're going to keep working on that over spring break. It looks wonderful, and we're projecting to end the year at a balance of $1.3 million. If everything comes out according to budget and that we do every single project we anticipate. We typically do not, but we will have an ending fund balance pretty significant. Does anyone have any questions on the financials? Okay. Alrighty, then I will move on to the special revenue fund. Sorry, I cannot come up with a better way for it to be easy to read and have all of the data included. But I just wanted to note that you You'll see many of our funds with a negative ending fund balance in purple. That's because the majority of our grants are reimbursement. So we spend down all of our grant allocation, and then monthly or quarterly, I go in and then clean that down from our grant cleaning system. We have been doing it more frequently this year with all of the federal government pauses. There were some concerns that they would not be paying out grant claims timely, or they would not have the funding for those grant claims. And so the ODE and OSBO have suggested that we do more frequent claims this year. And so we are doing that now monthly. Other than that, things are looking well in our special revenue fund. There's nothing significant. We don't have any new significant grants in the last 2 months. Does anyone have any on this report?
Questions?
Is there a, I guess I'm looking for the percentage of the overall budget that these funds make up.
The percentage of these funds would make up in the overall budget?
Yeah, the grant funds.
Okay, I can get that for you for next month. It's not included in here because we budget by major fund, and it was all just grouped into one special revenue fund, but I can get that for you.
Well, that's okay. Does it say on the other one? Maybe it says on the other one and I wasn't looking closely enough.
It probably will not say.
Okay.
It's about, I can do a rough math, hold on a second. About $25%.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, the majority of our entire budget is the general fund.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good question, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then back to the agenda, I think I have enrollment left. Enrollment looks good. It's stayed really consistent. Again, it's really hard this year because we have so quickly expanded our alt ed and online programs without a really great way of tracking that on my end. However, Brenda Gesberg, who thankfully last month chimed in and gave us the online numbers, I was able to reach out to her and get that for you guys for tonight. So as of March 2nd, Brenda had 227 online students. 93 of them were hybrid, 9th through 12th grade. 68 were full-time online. We had 8 6th through 8th hybrid, 32 6th through 8th grade full-time students, and then 8 students K-5 hybrid with 18 K-5 full-time. So we have really, really expanded that program. You'll see online. I thought last month there was a really significant increase. We went from 164 in January to 208 students in February, and then now we're at 244 students. So throughout this year, we're going to work on building a quicker way to calculate what percentage of FTE these hybrid students are, so that we can take that percentage of FTE out of their buildings and have a really good idea of FTE or ADM on site in the building with the hybrid. So I'll work on building that with Dr. Crook and Brenda.
Does that mean that this chart will change and your asterisks will go away? Okay.
It's been the intention. It's just really,
Yeah, it's hard to
really tricky. And right when we realized that discrepancy was the beginning of second semester, and then it was even harder to figure out who was in what classes. So now that things are a little more solidified, I'm hoping
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's exciting.
Oh, and Brenda, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I do. Just giving you a heads up that those numbers have just gone up after today.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
I've been spending a lot of time recruiting, essentially, when either introductory transfer forms come across my desk, or I've been calling our students that have left us in the past and talking to them about our program and things of that nature in an effort to get them back. And I've been pretty successful with many. Some we have some there's some programs around the state that offer cash back to families that are enrolled in them, and so those families have said no, thank you. But many of the families have either decided not to leave us and stay with us, or are coming back to us and jumping into our online programs. So, and I'm going to keep doing that. And
Yeah.
It's been so great this week. We've had to have conversations of considering next year is that position with do we need an additional online teacher
Teacher.
to cover the caseload? Because I think, what was it, like 12 students? They said they had gained within like a week.
Yeah, and essentially, every 12 students that are enrolled in our online program from our, that's an FTE that we've saved. So if you looked at what we have currently enrolled in our online program, they're saving, I think the estimate is about 15 FTE in the district that are involved in the junior high, high school, elementary program.
And I'm assuming there's no caseload for instruction.
There is, and we're, we,
Elementary, high school.
yeah, we have an elementary recommended class cap for online, and then we have a secondary, and we are, we're getting there in the secondary. The elementary, we're actually a couple over, but we're working with that teacher on some flexibility, and she's really great. But I'm hopeful that in contacting families that have left us, that I can get enough back to facilitate the hiring of the second person over the summer. But that, we're still about 15 families away from facilitating it.
Gotcha.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Kind of one of those things that we knew would be needed and we had no idea how much. And now we're trying to figure out the systems that go along with that. Dr. Cook's been doing a wonderful job handling all of that. Lastly, I am presenting to you guys something that you will have an action item on later. It is the contract extension for first student. Gary, Superintendent Roberts, and I have spent a lot of time working with first student and the district manager, area general manager, his name's Andrew Good, really working on to what extent does our fleet need to be replaced while making it a contract that we can afford for a renewal. We hadn't met, I'm going to say, the beginning of February, and there was another presenter that we could not afford. We asked him to go back and really look at what we can do to make it reasonable for us. We have a great working relationship. We really appreciate and enjoy the relationship that we have with them. So we were able to meet, was it Thursday?
Yep.
Thursday, Andrew was able to come into town and we met. And they have presented a contract extension, a 30% increase in year one, and a 12.5% increase in year two, and then 10%.
30%?
It's a very standard. Our liability for insurance last year went up 22% on the standard year. It's been the same contract since before COVID, since before RAPs have changed, policies and procedures have changed. We've had a 3% increase over the last 2 years. We anticipated a pretty significant increase because we've also pushed our fleet replacement back. The last contract extension, we pushed it, and so now we're at the place where it's pushed. We need to replace our fleet, I think about 12 to 15 years old. Is that sound right? Yep. I'm getting the nod from Becky. And so that's a really big priority for us. 30 is what we had anticipated and built into our proposed budget for 30. And so I'm presenting this contract extension to you guys for
Perfect. And that's later on.
Yeah, it's later on. Does anyone have any questions that I or Becky or Andrew, if he's on, can answer?
Is the rent for the property separate from this, or is that another situation?
This is the bus contract.
I don't know if it was included.
It's typically separate. We don't like have lease agreements involved in contracts, so it is separate. But they, in full transparency, they do lease our bus barn for their bus storage.
I really appreciate the breakdown of costs
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate being able that they would, the transparency around all the breakdowns and the other piece that they sent with the history and all that was really, really great and useful to read. and helpful.
Yeah, it is.
Really useful.
Really enjoyed working with Andrew and Becky on the process.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you all so much for time for doing that. I understand.
Yeah. It was
Not
really,
most exciting.
oh, I think it's great. My very best friend is a bus driver. So
And Andrew had planned on bringing a hard copy binder of this with him and forgot it when he left the house at California. He put it in the mail, so if you want to see it in a binder, he's sending us a couple. It should be here
Okay.
I
tomorrow.
would take when it's a really, really big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we are really, really thankful. This is one of those things that once it's out of your district, you can't afford to ever bring in. And so 30, while it's a large sticker price, is reasonable and justifiable based on our fleet. Thank you.
And it's
Thank you.
available at your end?
What's that?
And it's doable, year end deal?
It was what we had anticipated when building our proposed budget.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to, I think we're at the superintendent,
Yes,
aren't
we are.
Yeah.
Let's try this tonight, David. Let's see how we do.
Shouldn't have said anything.
Jinx.
Here's the-
Talk loud.
Oh, you want to be probably talking loud. All right, so originally last month, in the previous couple months, Kayla, Dr. Crook, and I were prepared to present tonight our all-dead plan and priorities with some of the staffing and budgetary things that we have going on. Obviously, you're aware of, but I'll talk also a little bit about here in a while. And also looking at a couple things that are coming on the horizon at ESD. We're going to push that back 1 month and we have more of an understanding. ESD is working on some things that will have an effect on us in terms of with our local service plan that may affect some of our alternative ed planning and priorities. So plan on next month, we're going to have a nice comprehensive presentation for you. But for tonight, just a reminder of our superintendent goals. Tonight, what I'm going to be presenting to start with is going to fit right into goal 4, which is administering at least 2 community surveys, at least 2 community and student surveys focusing on school climate and student voice. Tonight, we're going to go over our Student Success Committee survey. This survey went out to all of our 3rd through 12th grade students within their homerooms and their advisory. We had 991 students complete the survey. That would end up being around out of about, let's see, at about 2,400. We have about 900, almost 1,000 students complete the survey. The areas of the survey, the first topic included school safety, respect, and belonging. I'm proud to report that of the students that took the survey, a majority of the students feel safe and supported at school. 86.5% of the students are feeling safe at school. 35.1% strongly agree that they feel safe at school, and 51.4%, my word, somewhat agree. 90.1% of students feel respected by their teachers and school staff. 85.6% of the respondents feel they have at least one person at school that they can talk to. And I think that's so important for our kids to feel like they have a trusted person at school that they can communicate with. 73.9% of our students feel that they belong at their school. And 64% feel respected by other students.
Do we have a way of knowing, of identifying the kids that answered one way or? I mean, because the kids that say, no, I don't have a support system and stuff.
Did we make them put email in this survey? So we have the email addresses of the students that, now that basically we can track them down, but we have the email addresses of the students that have answered the survey. That was a way that we can make sure that it wasn't done more than one time. It's mainly for that kind of a tracking. We did the same thing with that community survey about the start and stop time on the school calendar. Was so we make sure somebody didn't go in over and over again and just happy click on one calendar. So we can find a way to identify some of the students.
Yeah, because some of those things you're going to want to respond to, I would say.
Sure, absolutely. And I think, we go back now with our administrators and we take a look at the grows and glows that come out of the survey, positives and things that work.
So this is not the survey that was sent out at the beginning of the year. That
This was
something different.
This was a different survey put together by the Student Success Committee, which is led by David, has members of the community, has student representatives and staff representatives, and one budget committee representative.
And are you going to run this a second time, or is this just one time a year?
This will be done multiple times throughout the year, but it will probably be done, this will be the one time for this year, and we'll turn around and go again in the fall, and then spring, and then fall and spring, and make it more twice a
Okay,
year.
but the one that we did at the beginning of the year, you're gonna run again, or no?
I don't think so. I think this is where we're going to go with that moving forward. The one that I put together was before we put the Student Success Committee together,
Okay.
and this was one of their plans and priorities was
And
getting student voice.
And I'm sorry, these are beautiful slides. They really are lovely. Somebody's getting really good at all this stuff, but I have to go back to this picture of the anchor. It says, data from 991 students grades 3 through 12, and then it says community, 991. What does that mean?
I see, oh, community is the 991 students that took the survey.
So that's the same as data. The data
Oh.
came from 991.
Correct.
That's the thing I was
Yes,
saying.
yeah.
Okay. All
It's
right.
the same,
Simple graph is
sure.
great.
Second focus of it was academic readiness and practical life skills. 75% of our students feel like 75% feel prepared, that school is preparing them for a life after graduation, and 25% want more. And I think, Addie, that's where it comes into like, who are those 25% and what more can we do to support them in filling that?
Yeah.
They come out of school with one of our 3 E's, enrolled, enlisted, or employed.
And yet it's also so important that it's anonymous.
Be anonymous, yeah, I know, that's what.
It's that fine line.
We
that
want
fine
to,
line.
can't use it to.
Of
Hard.
the areas that they felt that they wanted more, included some financial literacy, so things like filing taxes, budgeting, understanding mortgages, and paying bills. All good life skills to know, and skills. People voice that we don't have. We have manufacturing, we have our cabinetry class, but we don't have automotive anymore. An automotive maintenance program. We're working on some stuff with SWAC, obviously with the diesel mechanic program, but students were feeling, and then many of them also associated with like home economics. And we talked a little bit about culinary arts, but I will say we're running into some issues with culinary arts in terms of we have so much demand for culinary arts compared to the slots and the kitchen space that we have. I believe in our forecasting, we had 174 kids that requested culinary arts. That's more kids than, I think we had 100 kids more than what we can accept into the culinary arts classes. Which shows the demand we have for the program and what a great job Chef Scotty's doing with the program. But leaves that we need to find a way to either provide more opportunities through additional staffing, but then the problem is we don't have another kitchen space. We don't have another culinary arts space. So it's hope that maybe in time, a program like SWAC, who's looking at maybe doing a CTE center, could help with either overflow programs or we shift some programs. We've talked with SWAC about some CTE classes that are in demand, like cosmetology, that we would love to see a program. We may not have enough students in Coos Bay schools to facilitate a program, but between us, North Bend, and Coquille, Myrtle Point, and Bandon, we might have enough students to facilitate a program on their campus site. So those are some things. We've had some initial meetings with SWAC as area superintendents, and so I think more is going to come in the next few years on a potential regional CTE center partnership with the college, which would be fantastic.
Is there a count of some of these things that are in the boxes? Financial literacy, practical skills, career readiness?
Those are things that, and
those are
David,
just
you can speak to that as
mentioned, or do
the.
you happen to know 20 said filing taxes, 1 said budgeting?
I don't have that data here, but I can collect that data easily from
Okay,
our results.
I'm interested in that kind of thing, and also where it says 100 unique skills requested, I would love to see what some of those are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I can put that together.
A lot of students in the open-ended responses.
And part of this also is our student success committee will meet on Thursday to analyze these. This was just a preliminary analysis, kind of a broad overview of what we received.
okay.
But we're going to dive deeper into the weeds to try to identify trends and see where we may be lacking. So that would be a great opportunity for us to collect some of that data for you.
And feel free to say, this is a broad overview, because that I did not know. So I'm asking you all these drill down questions. Okay.
The last piece that they talked about when it came to career readiness is things like resume writing, professional etiquette, FAFSA scholarships. Those are things that we can now look at in terms of what we're doing in our advisory classes at the school. We also have some additional requirements coming from the state when it comes to like the personal finance piece that's coming in that Chad's going to talk about tonight a little bit later. But eventually, when we get to 2027, 28, the personal finance credit is going to be involved with high school graduation. And so those are also some areas that can help with some of that financial literacy that students are talking about. So we have some pieces coming down the line that are going to help support some of these boxes and questions. I wish Dr. Rogowski was here tonight because I know how passionate he is about cell phone. The impact on focus, only 29% of students feel more focused in class since current restrictions were implemented. Now, I am a father of 2 daughters that are 15 and 13 now. And whether it was impactful for them in class or not, they would argue that it's not impactful of them having their cell phone and that it doesn't help their focus because they're 15 and 13 and they love their phones. So I think that we,
Maybe
well,
it's
I
a question.
appreciate the data on that. I also have to wonder with some students if they've lived in a cell phone age, that do they know what focus was like without them? Because I know my 15-year-old might not. Being just honest and transparent.
I'm 18. I was born in a very convenient time. I was there just long enough to see the world before the cell phones took over, and I've been here long enough to see the cell phones after they've taken over. And I can confidently say that focus is less. I struggle to focus more because of applications on my phone, especially when you start getting into something called short form content.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep.
In terms of safety and anxiety when it comes to parent communication, 74% of students feel anxious or less safe because they cannot easily contact the parent or guardian during the school day. The emergency connection, a top concern is inability to contact family during a lockdown or natural disaster amongst the students. A key concern is the lack of trust in school to store expenses. This if we came up with some sort of way of storing them for them. They don't feel very trustworthy, including they have very high opposition to office managed storage of their cell phones. I think the office managed people would probably have opposition in storing their cell phones all day as well. But so cell phones continue to be something that I think, over time, it'll be interesting to see what the data comes in 2 or 3 years down the road when some of these things that have been implemented become more on the norm and the regular.
Yeah, but we all know it's hard to
judge
how focused we are or how,
yes.
I'm
Yes.
curious to see the questions and then the numbers of responses on some of these.
Yeah. Lastly, we have technology and equity. A majority of students feel equitable opportunities are available at school, while technology usage and specific community concerns are highlighted. So Chromebook usage on average, 52% of their school day is working on a Chromebook. We've had this conversation about the K2 level. Principal Ainsworth talked about it. We're working on some pilot programs here in the spring to analyze some data from out of the K2 level. We're also working on some items at the 7-12 level that provide opportunity for Chromebook usage, but also take into account the amount of money that we're spending on replacement of Chromebooks and whether that's financially responsible of us as a district when we can maybe have access to Chromebooks in other ways. So that's also something we're looking at as a cabinet and an administrative team. A great stat, I think, though, is that 84% of students feel they receive the same opportunities as other in the school district. So, a vast majority of our kids feel like the opportunities are there for them in the district, just like their peers. There is a perception about sports programs receiving more funding. I'll say that our sports programs are about 3.4% of the overall district funds. So it's a very small percentage in comparison. But I understand how sometimes kids see Letterman's jackets, or they see jerseys, or they see some of those things, and the perception is, that sports programs are very heavily invested in by the district. And then again, that last one is that the academic leeway, a perception that sports programs receive more leeway than fine arts or other academic areas when it comes to equity opportunities and money. And again, I can see where students come from because they see that the visual, but they don't actually see the transparent data. When we met with the superintendent advisory committee and I did that budget presentation, I was able to explain to them the actual amount that we spent on activities, sports and athletics in the district. Some of them were quite surprised that it was actually as low, even at 3.4%, as low as it actually is.
So the perceived equity, that's 83.8% of the 991.
Correct.
And there's actually 2,000 and some.
Correct.
Okay.
And this was also only 3 to 12.
Yeah.
So no
So 500
pre-K.
600 kids are not surveyed.
Part of
because-
the survey, yeah.
Okay, so any questions on the Student Success Committee's statistics that they're going to spend, again, more time on Thursday and do a little bit more deep dive, but I just wanted to give you guys a nice overview of what they were looking at.
Thank you. Look forward to the deep
Yeah.
dive.
Okay. Tonight, during an action item, you're going to vote on the 2026-27 school calendar. I want to talk a little bit about the process for the calendar. The calendar committee met on 3 occasions, December, February, and March. In December, we listened to committee feedback. The committee was made up of a building representative from the certified and classified units for each of our buildings, some union representation, administrative representation, district office representation. In December, we listened to feedback from that committee and constructed a survey based on that feedback. In February, we discussed those results. We looked at 3 draft calendars and then sent out a survey to staff on the 3 draft calendars. In March, we looked at the survey results, narrowed it down to 2, and then I sent out a survey from families asking for feedback on a pre or post Labor Day start. I did that within my superintendent newsletter, then also did it in a separate parent square message. The staff's feedback from their survey was in favor of a post Labor Day start. It was not overwhelming, but there was a majority. The parent feedback on a post Labor Day start was a little bit more solidified. It's more in line with what we do. I then looked at North Bend and I looked at North Bend's adopted calendar, which is very similar to ours, post Labor Day, full fall break. And I believe Coquille is leaning towards a post Labor Day start. Of our South Coast ESD schools, it's about 50-50, but we do have 2 districts in the South Coast ESD that always start pre-Labor Day, regardless of when Labor Day is. So in the end, we had to look at, again, key considerations for the calendar is the late Labor Day weekend, with Labor Day being September 7th. Survey data indicated the desire to have a full fall break, like the other districts in our region, and how we used to be. During that first committee feedback, we heard about adding professional development opportunities for staff. So we took that into place. Now I'm going to be open and honest that I, as the superintendent, and our building principals and our cabinet are going to be looking at staff attendance on these Fridays and professional development days. One of the reasons that Superintendent Ainsworth went away from Friday professional development days was the amount of absences that staff were taking on those days. I want to work with our unions, both certified and classified, to try to help improve attendance on those days, because we have a lot of opportunities for professional development that we are taking away from Friday PLCs to accomplish. And I don't think we're doing a great job of supporting our staff and the development they need as professionals. And so we've added some days into the calendar to support that. The last thing is we heard from the initial survey and some kind of anecdotal feedback we received in the comments from families was addressing that our conferences for pre-K 6 and 7-12 were in the same week and many times on the same night. So if you had a family at Eastside, Millicoma, and I was a junior high or high school, you may have to get to 3 or 4 different buildings in one night. And I dealt with this more last year than this year, but even as a parent this year, I had to do just junior high and high school. So we have come up with a system that's going to help. We're going to do pre-K 6 conferences a different week from 7-12. They'll still have the same trade day for that time, but we're going to operate under a different weekly, different times for those to help support our families and our staff members, because we have staff members that are also family members, have kids in our district, and them trying to attend their child's conferences can be a struggle. So that is the calendar. This is a calendar that you are going to hopefully approve tonight. We're also looking at a system next year. If you look, just for an example, if you look at October 9th, that is a yellow professional development day, and so is November 6th. October 9th, we are going to use that this year as a pre-K 6 grading day right after fall assessment, so we can get instant feedback to families on their fall diagnostic assessments. And then for the 7-12s on October 9th, that is going to be a professional development day to get trainings in their building. That will allow district office staff to attend some of those trainings and help facilitate some of those professional development opportunities. Then you fast forward to November 6th, we're going to flip, and that will be a 7-12 grading day and a pre-K 6 professional development day, again, allowing district office staff. This is really going to help Dr. Crook and Chad be able to facilitate professional development opportunities to both grade level bands. This will also help, again, do an earlier grading time for our families right after fall diagnostics, and we can get some instant feedback, because we're going to run conferences the week or two after that October 9th pre-K 6 grading day. We're going to run fall conferences for pre-K 6 and get instant feedback from families on their diagnostics earlier than we would waiting until November. So, questions on the calendar?
Yeah, I guess my only concern is that now you're ending 2 weeks into June, when no kids want to be in school in June anyway.
Yeah.
Do we have any data about what attendance has been like in June when we end basically a week earlier? I mean, because graduation isn't even going to be till the 12th.
Graduation will be on the 12th. SWAC's graduation is going to be on the 11th. We checked into that, and North Bend's graduation will be on the 11th as well. So they kind of are falling in line with what we're doing. I can say that we can look at the data for what a normal school year is for that last week. Obviously, seniors are gone, and we can take a look at that. We don't have very much data because you have to go back about 6-7 years to get to a late June ending. But that was a concern for many of us in looking at this. But it was more of a priority for families and for staff for that Labor Day weekend, and to start a traditional post-Labor Day time than it was for that. So we also looked at a calendar with a pre-Labor Day start and a full fall break, but that would have had us getting out of school on Monday, June 14th, and we thought, with students, and we thought that is doing school on a Monday, the last day of school on a Monday, was not in the best interest of family, staff, the community as a whole.
They just wouldn't have come.
Yeah, so.
Nobody's shown up. No one's shown up.
Other questions on the calendar?
What's the C on the calendar? On Fridays they have a C after them?
Early release.
Okay.
Early
I couldn't
release.
find that. Okay.
Yeah, Fridays are early release days.
I have a question regarding the surveys of all of these things. Are the surveys available to us to be able to see what the questions are?
Sure, we can provide the survey. We can provide the survey data on the website. Yeah.
And were those offered in Spanish?
They were not offered in Spanish. Other questions? All right, not the last slide, but budget reduction process. I just wanted to keep the board informed on where we're at in the budget reduction process. As you're aware, we have a $2 million budget deficit that has been identified. My goals as a superintendent have been operating within our fiscal means allocated by the board policy and the state school fund in prioritizing supporting student outcomes. As a leader of the district, I've met with our district departments now twice to go over staffing and expenditures. I've met with the building administrators and analyzed staffing levels. We've used at several of the buildings staffing matrix that other districts use that provide them essentially like, here is your number of students. This is the staff number that you should be allocated, the FTE based on that. And have built some projections that way. That was a big help in the process for several of our buildings to look at a matrix that had staffing compared to student numbers. Then we've now started to review our retirements, our resignations, and our transfers. Many of those will be approved tonight. I've met with the cabinet, and I have met with all of our building staff in a staff meeting format. We've discussed the declining enrollment, the rise in costs associated with staffing, and the decline of our reserves as the main reasons for this budget situation we're in. And here after tonight and into early next week, we're going to meet with the union leaderships and talk about the reductions that we have listed. And then we will start meeting with the staff members that will be reduced to talk to them about their options. Our priority has been trying to absorb as much as we can through resignations, retirements, and things of that nature to avoid reductions in force of people losing their jobs. And so that's where we're at in the budget. We will, again, be meeting with union leaderships from the certified and classified bargaining units, not next week, but next week, next week. We're going to go over the list with them. Then we'll start the process of meeting with those employees. And I should have a list for you at the April meeting of the reductions that we are doing as a district. And then that will put us into the budget adoption process starting late April, early May. Questions on that? All right, some positives to end tonight with some of our Pirates. And I've got a list. I got to put my readers on or else this could go a crazy way. We got archery, MSS archery. We've had quite a few state placers. Erica Posicani was third in the female open. Grant Sizemore was a state champion in the male bear bow. And Sam Howell was second place in the female bear bow. At the Oregon Bow Hunters Division, Erica Posicani was third in the youth adult bow. Max Henson was a state champ in the female youth modern bow. Kaya Russell, who's also on the Superintendent Advisory Committee, was a state champion in the female youth modern bow. And Sam Howell was second place in the female youth adult bow. MHS swimming had a great run at the state meet. In the bottom right corner is the boys 200 meter medley relay. They were third place. That's Carter McGriff, Alex Dunning, Hunter Lowen, and Martin Crook. Lily Thompson is up there. She's in the bottom lower left corner. Lily was sixth place in the girls 200 meter individual medley. Avery Bartholomew, who is in the middle. Right there, she's got two photos right there. She was fourth in the 50 free and fifth in the 100 free. Isaac Singer in the top left was sixth place in the 500 free. Carter McGriff in the middle there, the big picture, was second place. He was our highest individual in the 100 breaststroke. And then our girls 400 free relay in the top right, and one of the little faces is blocked, was third place. And that's Avery Bartholomew, Lily Thompson, Ella Croson, and Audrey Petley. A couple other things we've got there in the top left are our state wrestlers. We had two state champions. Garen Castro, he's the little guy at 113. And Skylar Falau is the big guy at 285. I was going to ask you to pick which one you thought was Skylar, which one you thought was Garen after I told you their weight classes. And then in the middle, we have Charlie Morton, who placed, I believe, fifth at 126 or 132. He's in the middle there. Coach Morton there, right there on the right, first year head coach, did a great job. We're appreciative of him. In the middle, we have our speech and debate kids that qualified for nationals, which will be in June in Virginia. We have Ty Belzer, who was second in dramatic acting. Zell Quint, who was first in dual acting. And Aya Coffee Plebu, who was first in persuasive speech. So they will be going to nationals in June. The top right, we have our Latinx club that was down in Ashland at the Cesar Chavez conference. I believe it was last weekend. And then in the lower left, I thought it was cool. The MHS band twice went to Powers and was their home band for their state playoff games in girls basketball. They learned the Powers School fight song and they played it. They did the national anthem and they did that twice. And the people at Powers collected money and donated $2,200 to their cause for their trip to Pearl Harbor's, to march in the Pearl Harbor Parade. And so I thought it was really cool that
And they fed them too.
and they did feed them. And they said that we had lots of compliments from them, how nice and polite our kids were. But I thought it was really cool that they learned the Powers High School fight song.
Yeah.
And went down and played for 2 playoff games. And the Powers girls did advance to the state playoffs. They lost in, I believe, the consolation finals over there in Baker City. But great thing of Pirates giving back to one of our area schools. And just the last thing, this Saturday, Restaurant O, we have a culinary arts fundraiser. It will be at 6 o'clock. All the money donated that night will go to the culinary arts program at the high school. So that flyer there tonight. And that is all I have for you. Any questions this lovely evening?
I have a few questions.
Sure.
First of all, for repairs and stuff, how are the contractors chosen? And are prices negotiated with them?
It depends on what the project is and how much it is, but if it hits, what's their dollar amount? $25,000, it has to go out for bid, and there's a competitive bid process that comes in for those projects. If it's under $25,000, we can get a local contractor or do the work ourselves with our own maintenance facility crews.
The second question regarding enrollment. So if someone enrolled in the school and then was unenrolled and enrolled again, will they count it as 2 enrollments or 1 enrollment?
Just one.
It'd be nice if we could count.
We get more money if we can count it
We
for
get
two,
more
but we
money,
can't.
but-
That's what
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, any other questions from the board tonight?
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Gary.
Thank you.
Okay, David, policy.
All right. First off, are there any prospective policies anyone would like the policy committee to review? Okay, so we have our first readings for adoption. As per usual, I won't go through all of these. They're available to you on the agenda. They were mostly minor changes, nothing too substantial.
Some of them almost didn't have change.
Some of them did not have
Yeah.
changes, and that I believe that wraps up our policy analysis. There may be one or two out there that we tabled at a certain point, so I'll go back and review that. But we are very, very near the end of that. A couple of them that you will see first reading for deletion. Those are ones that we checked with OSBA, and they no longer host or support those policies, or at least the truancy one, as the laws around that have changed, so the AR is no longer applicable. And then the student drug testing were optional policies that didn't fit our current practice. So those are also up for deletion. Does anyone have any questions about any of the policies? Terrific. And that's all I have.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, action items. I think it's Chad.
Yep, Chad's right over here. He's over in the shadows. He's coming out.
God, I didn't see him.
He was over there.
all night, and I kept
Over there
looking.
drinking a
That
Pepsi.
table over there. I'm here to talk to you about the process of implementing the personal finance class that we're tasked with implementing beginning in the fall of next year or the year after that with board approval. This course, the personal finance class, some of the standards include working in learning about credit, debt, banking, investing, saving, repayment, income, and taxes. And with everything that's going on right now with the budget and our shuffling of staff, making sure that we have the expertise in the right place and trained to teach this course, we're asking that with board approval that we are allowed to implement the class, not this coming fall, but the fall after that. So the rule allows us to either implement this coming fall or the fall after with board approval. So I'm here
So
to
we
ask-
don't have to do anything special to ask for a year.
You just have to approve it, vote to approve it, and then I fill out a form online, and then we can continue the process of making sure that we have the right person in the right place to teach the course accordingly, so that all of our seniors are able to pass the course. And this is really good. This is a really good course. I'm happy that and excited that they're going to be exposed to this, because a lot of students go through and they get bits and pieces in other classes, but this class should be good for them. Should make a difference.
Are there any questions for Chad? Kim, you have any questions?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Chad.
so do we have to do a waiver?
I complete the waiver. You just have to vote to approve me to go forward with the process.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve going forward with a waiver for 1 year of our personal finance diploma requirement?
I so move.
Who? Oh, Kim?
Yep, I said I so move.
Okay,
I'll second.
it's been moved and seconded that we authorize a 1 year waiver in the personal finance diploma requirement. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Kim?
Aye.
Diane?
Aye.
Maybe?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay, contract renewal of licensed educators.
Okay, before you tonight, you have a list of contract renewals, non-renewals for our educators. We are asking for you to make a motion and to approve the list of retirements, resignations, temporary contract non-renewals, probationary contract non-renewals for Coos Bay schools.
This was provided to us ahead of time. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to review it, but are there any questions?
I didn't really get a look at it until right now, so I'll just abstain from voting. That's all right, everybody.
I don't know. I don't know that you have to abstain this, because the teachers aren't listed by name or anything. They're listed by number for obvious reasons. But, okay. So do we need a vote on that? Okay. Do I need a motion?
Yes, yeah.
Can I get a motion? To accept the resignation, non-renewal, and renewal.
Hi, this is Kim. I so move to accept the contracts as listed for our teaching year.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Diane? Maybe?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Kevin?
Abstain.
Abstain? Chair votes aye. So. That passes.
It passes.
Okay, thank you. So we've adopted that list. Now we're on to
Adopting
the school calendar. Do I have a motion to adopt the school calendar as presented?
I'll make a motion to adopt the 26-27 school calendar as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Diane?
Aye.
Maybe?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We have adopted a calendar. Okay, the transportation contract renewal. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a
I
motion.
so move.
Oh, go ahead, Kim, you have it. You take it.
I so move to accept our transportation contract renewal.
With first student. Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the contract renewal with first student? Hearing none. Diane?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Maybe?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, we have 2 leave of absence requests.
Yes, you have 2 leave of absence requests before you tonight. You have the link to the letters. I support both of these staff members in their request for a leave of absence, if the board so moves to approve.
I read both of the letters. They sounded reasonable to me, so I move to accept the, what do they want?
Leave of absence requests.
Leave of absence, that's the word I was looking for. LOA, yes.
Okay, for Kitty DeMoss and Sean Peters?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the leave of absence requests for Kitty DeMoss and Sean Peters. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Diane?
Aye.
Maybe?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Okay, now we're going to have a little longer discussion, I think, on the National Register designation for Marshfield High School.
Yes, so as you can read there on the pros and cons, if you have it up in front of you, on February 18th, myself, Marina, and Loma and David met with Caitlin and Robert, who did the presentation at Heritage Hall. and we discussed the national application process and the limitations. And we kind of took the Marshfield, the vestibule drawings that were done by,
Was it Joe?
by Joe Slack, thank you. Yeah, we used those as an example of like, okay, if we were to be on the National Historic Registry, and we submitted this as a plan for renovations, like what could we do, what couldn't we do? We were kind of using it as a template to see like, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. And we found out that that's really not the case. It actually helped streamline the process a little bit, being on the registry. Really it talked about character defining features that would dictate what you could do and like, can you recreate those in the construction process? And then where things get a little bit more difficult is if you're taking down structures like walls. It doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it a little more difficult if you're in the interiors and you're taking down walls that maybe have a significant historical feature. For example, if we went to take out like the vault that is in the office area that's been there since the school was constructed in the early 1900s, we would have to indicate the why, what was the reasoning and things of that nature. It still doesn't make it impossible, but like I said, before you have the pros and cons, and what we really like tonight is to there can be a discussion amongst the board on those pros and cons, and then see if we'd like to move toward having this go to now the facilities committee as the next step in the process. But we wanted to present our board members with a really good, solid pros and cons, the details of that conversation with Caitlin and Robert, and based on what we can and couldn't do when it comes to some areas of construction at Marshfield High School's campus, if we were on the registry.
So that was just a discussion about the vestibule?
We use that as a template to kind of say,
You used it as a template?
yeah, we also talked to them about like, what if we wanted to, because the floors at Marshfield, obviously they've asbestos flooring from most likely from the past. So we said if we wanted to cover the floors with a vinyl flooring, what would that process be? And they walked us through that the steps are really pretty simple to go through to do something like that. It's really if we were to tear buildings down where things get a little bit wonky, or to tear down structures within the school that have historical significance.
And this is only the main building, correct?
This is the campus itself.
Oh, it
Oh, it
is?
is.
Yes.
I thought it was just the,
Main,
No, and this process kind of started because the auditorium.
yeah, just because that's
And
the
it
auditorium.
said, no, you really, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, but the conversation was, it really becomes the campus as the whole.
It
as a
would be.
historical site.
There are a number of buildings there that would be considered non-contributing. So they're included, but they're not contributing to.
to
So
the historical.
Like Pirate Hall that was built in
significance,
2000,
yeah,
Right.
or the radio building.
they would have
Okay.
little concern of what we did in those buildings. It would be the character defining features like the main gym, the auditorium, and the main building.
So,
One thing that was concerning to me was, well, what will happen financially if they know you cannot do that project, and then an alternative is significantly more cost. And what do we do in that situation? And really what they communicated, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we have to go to them regardless. Because of the age of our facility, if we are doing any significant changes, we have to go to that department anyway and submit the change, and we've done that for other work.
Oh, we have.
Yep, so when we did the main gym, when we did the seismic upgrade, we went through them and did all the same work to say, here's what we're gonna do, what is the historic change, what is the cost of it? And so they already know essentially how to function with us, but regardless of any change we would do, we would need to go to them. So by being on the registry, essentially all of the prep work would already be done through them, and it would streamline the process significantly. They'd have all the historical.
And I took a look at some of the grants that it would make us able to apply for, and I didn't see like a whole lot. I mean, there's a little, but, and who knows how long those will,
Like what order of magnitude are those grants?
$20,000. And the other thing that I was thinking about, I mean, I like the idea. I'm all for it, actually, I think. But there are some pros and cons, and the other thing that I looked at is the cost and the time to do the whole application and finding the right people to do it, or person. That was the other thing I wondered about, because when we had the town hall meeting, whatever that meeting was, that was way more significant than I thought it was gonna be, time-wise.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I think at the town hall, what we did see too was a big community appetite for it, and a lot of people that are vested in that.
Yeah. It's true.
So I think that if we were to pursue and ask for donations of time to do this, we may be successful in that route without having to pay a lot out of pocket.
And we heard that some of it's already done.
Yeah.
We heard about that too, which was
Very nice.
Yeah.
Loma, I know you're on the call tonight or on the Google Meet. Do you have any concerns or anything that you'd like to share with the board?
No, I don't have any concerns. I think all my concerns got answered in that meeting we had, a couple weeks ago.
Okay, thank you. I knew he was on. I want to make sure we included him.
Was it, just, Lola, your opinion would be thumbs up or thumbs down, this is a good idea or not?
I think right now, ultimately, I'm just kind of thumbs down, just slightly though, not as much as I was before.
I think it's worth.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No,
Thank you.
and I think it's worth passing on to the facilities committee to at least continue looking at the process.
To find out exactly what it would cost and everything to
Yeah,
do this.
I would agree with that.
And
I just said I would agree with that, as being on the facilities committee as well. I think that just, if we just say no right now, I think we've got a whole community that's behind it. I mean, just judging from the folks that showed up, and I don't know who said it there, but we will have folks that are willing to donate time and who probably we might even already have the application already all done. I mean, they seem pretty excited about it. So, I mean, I think we could explore it more.
I mean, the facilities committee has done our long range facility planning. They've done all this legwork on our facilities. I feel like the next step, at least the next step, the right step, is to let them go through this pros and cons, these the citizen feedback and things of that nature as a next step, and they could come back to us in another board meeting.
I don't think I need a vote for that. Is that generally the opinion of the board, that we should refer this to the facilities committee?
And have them bring back.
And have them bring
their
back
thoughts.
recommendations?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yep. Okay.
Do you need a vote?
I don't
No,
think so.
no,
It's
it would be
been-
more if we want you to seek a national register or a
Yeah.
placement on it. This is more of we want you to continue to find out more about
Yeah,
it.
please.
So no real action.
Okay, board actions. I'm really sorry that Bree is not here today, because she always stands out in my mind as one of the best classified employees we've got. But this is resolution number 2026-01, recognition of classified school employees week, March 2nd through March 6th. Whereas the Coos Bay School District is committed to providing a high-quality education and a safe, supportive learning environment for every student, and whereas classified school employees, including our secretaries, administrative assistants, educational assistants, media clerks, graduation coaches, custodians, maintenance workers, security teams, and technology specialists are the essential backbone of our district operations. And whereas these dedicated professionals are often the first people students see in the morning and the last they see in the afternoon, providing a vital bridge between our schools and the Coos Bay community. And whereas our classified staff members foster positive relationships, ensure student safety, maintain our learning environments, and provide the technical and administrative support necessary for instructional success. And whereas district administrators recognize that our unsung heroes go above and beyond their job descriptions daily to solve problems, support classroom teachers, and put the needs of students first. And whereas the success of the Coos Bay School District is a direct result of the collective hard work, compassion, and professionalism of our classified personnel, now therefore be it resolved that the Coos Bay School District Number 9 Board of Directors affirm our commitment to ongoing recognition and appreciation of the invaluable contributions of our classified employees, extending beyond the traditional observance of Classified Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the Board of Directors encourages all students, parents, and community members to join us in expressing sincere gratitude and appreciation for the vital contributions of our classified staff to the Coos Bay School District, adopted by our Board of Directors today.
Thank you. Patty, before you do board member highlights, Andrew Good from First Student has joined us. He just got off a plane and he just wanted to take a moment to introduce himself to the board, even though I told him, he texted me and I said, we've already approved the contract renewal. You're good to go. But he still want to have just a quick moment to introduce and say thank you. So yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew for just a
I see snow there.
It's a fake background, honestly. I'm in the middle of the San Francisco airport, gate number, whatever, 47. So, hey, folks, I apologize. I wasn't on earlier. Our flight got delayed on to Salt Lake City. But on behalf of First Student, we're really honored to take a moment to recognize the strong partnership we've shared with Coos Bay School District over the past 15 years. You know, throughout this time, Becky and her team have done a phenomenal job meeting and exceeding expectations, always keeping students, families, the community, and the district at the center of everything they do. And the collaboration with the school district it's been built on trust, communication, and shared commitment to safety and service. And it's something we're truly proud of. We're truly proud of the relationship we have with the district. And as we celebrate this milestone, we're equally excited about what lies ahead. We look forward to continuing the partnership for another 5 great years and beyond, delivering the same high level of dedication, reliability, and care that has defined our work together. And I can't thank you enough. I was so ready to get off that plane, but thank you for your continued trust in First Student for allowing us to be a part of your community. It's really quite an honor, I will tell you that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a good night. Safe travels.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Okay, with that, board member highlights. Does anybody have any fun things they did? Kim, let's start with you. I know you did something.
Yes. Let's see. I went with, I voluntold my husband that we were going to be the moderator and one of the timekeepers for the what's it called? The book.
OBOB?
Yeah, OBOB. I did hit my head today. I'm not sure if David told everyone that I did wreck on my bike, an electric bike. So a little discombobulated. So I thought I shouldn't drive into the meeting. But yes, we were there for the all the tournaments and it was a lot of fun. And I talked about that last time. And then Madison School had a dinner and and it was Dr. Seuss and it was so amazing. I saw, Addie was there and Gary was there. It was just really fun to watch the students with their families reading. And, we were walking around and looking at how they weren't, on their cell phones or devices. They were reading books in the dark with their little flashlights, and it was really cute. And then the food they cooked, it just blows my mind. They just do a great job over there. they really love their families, and it shows. I think that's it. I'm sure I did other stuff, but the bike injury is taking my brain completely.
Feel better.
Feel better. Okay. Maybe?
Nothing, I just need to talk to Dr. Crook and get over there. That's
Okay.
not-
I attended the OBOB regional tournament in Roseburg. We had 5 teams from our school district represented who all did quite well. 4 of the 5 teams made it to the knockout round and scored a lot of points and showed a lot of good sportsmanship. And really hats off to our librarians. They do a really great job coaching and inspiring a love of literacy in that group of students. So it's a great event.
Yeah, I volunteered for during the 3-day tournament. So that fundraiser helped put money towards the volleyball program.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I bet it was. It brought a lot of business to town last weekend. Let's see, I went to the same program, Kim, the Read Across America. And I took some pictures. I've got them if you want to see them, of the kids sitting in the dark with the flashlights. I was talking to one of the teachers, having the flashlights was almost the most important part of it, because the kids would be in the middle just throwing their flashlights around. But it was nice to see the families reading together, and it wasn't just mothers there with their kids. There were a lot of dads there too. So. And then today I went to the newly reimagined site council meeting for Sunset.
Oh, great.
And heard all about their building learning team.
Their build team, their
Yeah.
building implementation team.
So,
Awesome.
so nothing else? I think we're ready to adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, Kim. Get
Bye, Kim.
better.
Thank you.